Last time I made a little video for you about Gibson tires, and I mounted a tire, showed you how easy it was to mount, and had a little bit of feedback from some people asking why I mounted the tire the way that I did. And so I just thought I'd quickly make a little video on how I mount tires and why I do what I do. So I have another Gibson here that we're going to be putting on this customer's Honda 450. I didn't go into any detail before with the last tire that I did as to why I did what I did. So on this particular wheel, the valve stem hole is right beside the bead lock. On some wheels, the valve stem hole is 180 degrees away from the bead lock. So depending on where the valve stem hole is, you kind of have some different options as to how you would or could put the tube in the tire, or put the tube in the tire before you mount it, or put the tube in the tire after you mounted the first bead. So last time I mounted the first bead and then I fed the tube into the tire. This time I'm going to put the tube into the tire and then I'll mount it together as an assembly. So I use as a lubricant, it's a vegetable based lubricant. It's kind of got like a greasy type consistency, but it's water soluble. It does not affect, or is not petroleum based at all, so it does not affect the rubber. It doesn't break anything down. It basically dissolves or goes away. Even in the time that we've been talking, I had just put some lubricant down on the face of the rim and it's already starting to dry up and go away. So yeah, it doesn't really stay and cause your wheel to slip on your rim or anything like that. But like I just said, when I mount tires, I lubricate the face of the rim because that's what you're going to be prying the tire over, as well as I mount this outer bead, or lubricate this outer bead on both sides of the tire. I also lubricate the inside of the top bead because after the first bead's on and you're spooning the tire onto the wheel, that inner surface is what you're prying over top of the lip of the rim. So if you lubricate those three surfaces, you'll find that your tire changes go extremely smoothly. You won't have to fight with levers. You're probably less prone to pinching it too. So like I said before, I'm going to put the tube in the tire for this particular installation and show you how we do it that way. So just use the Gold Tire heavy duty tube. This is a 120/80/19. Not a lot of sidewall on this tire, so it's a little less forgiving than maybe some 18-inch stuff. But so what I do now is I will feed the valve stem of the tube through the hole in the rim and just start the retaining nut on the valve stem. Good enough for now. And then I will push the bead lock in and hook the tire underneath the bead lock. And at that point you can proceed to spoon your first bead on. Now I'm just tucking the tube down. So now we have our first bead down and our tube is inside our tire. Bead lock straight, the valve stem is straight, so the tube's not twisted or loaded in any way. And then typically I like to start right beside the bead lock and work my way around the tire and come back to the bead lock last. Again, if you like to do it a different way, there's no right or wrong way. If it ends up the tire's on the wheel and there's air in the tire, then you did it the right way. So again, some people take really small bites when they're spooning their tire on. If you've lubricated the face of this rim on the inside of that top bead, I find it allows you to take a much larger bite because the tire just glides on quite effortlessly. As you're going, I like to push this bead down so it's in the drop center of the rim. And then that's it. Just falls on. So sticker valve stem core back in, wherever it is. There's one right here. Beads are seated. Got about 16 pounds in there. We'll air it down to about 12. Tighten our bead lock. And we're ready to go. Don't over torque your bead lock. Only needs to be about 11 or 12 foot-pounds. So basically you can snug it up until you feel it contact the tire. And then I'll give it another half a turn to snug it up. And that's it. We're mounted, ready to go back on the bike.